name is Brian. If you're new to my channel, you're going to love this. This is the most pro-Donald Trump place on the internet. Not just YouTube, anywhere. Here we go.
77. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. What exciting. We have so much exciting news today. Oh, so much exciting news. My name is Brian. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Oh, man. What a great day of news. President Trump had a major victory in the E. Jean Carroll case yesterday. And I know you people are saying, what? Well, you're not watching the news. President Trump won in that case yesterday. He won big time. I'm going to talk about that, and it's a beautiful thing. I watched that loon walk out of the courthouse yesterday. We're going to talk about that. It was a great, great day. I was talking to Steve on the phone yesterday, and he's like, oh, the verdict's about to come in. And I said, that's great. And he says, yeah, but what if it comes out against her? There's no way Trump can lose that case. And I'll talk about that later on in the hour, but that was, oh man, just exciting stuff. The oppression against President Trump. Also, Tucker Carlson has just turned the media world upside down as Fox News signed the cancellation of cable news. Fox News has canceled all of cable news so far as its relevancy in America when they terminated Tucker Carlson's show. We're going to get into that, but I want to start about the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit, okay? And this, because I know people are confused. What do you mean Trump won? I did a very, very detailed podcast last night on this. And if you don't listen to my podcast, you should. The Brian Craig Show podcast, which was named the #3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. And that's a pretty big deal because #1 is Mark Levin, and #2 is Glenn Beck over there at The Blaze, and I'm #3. So, that's kind of a big deal to me. And I'm on all podcast platforms, okay? Spotify, everything. But anyway, what President Trump is going through, this oppression since he came down the escalator, what I've been telling people, we'll get to Tucker Carlson after the first break because this is such a beautiful thing. But I just want to let people know out there that are depressed over the E. Jean Carroll verdict that Trump won yesterday. Now, I've been telling you guys for quite a while now that the MAGA movement is a civil rights movement, and our civil rights movement leader is the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And it's a civil rights movement, the MAGA movement, against oppression of the deep state, the bureaucrats, our bought off and bribed public officials that are owned by not just the military-industrial complex, but all kinds of donors, and now foreign countries like the 51st state of Ukraine and China and all of these things. President Trump is a civil rights leader. They had this ridiculous indictment out of that Soros Bragg grand jury in New York, this E. Jean Carroll thing. They got another case going on, here and then over there. There's always an investigation or a case going on. Two of the greatest Americans were arrested. Two of the greatest Americans were arrested, one of them more than once. And I'm talking about, of course, the great Rosa Parks and the great Martin Luther King. And like President Trump, you know what the arrest of, if you want to call that an arrest, but there's these courtroom oppression and the arrest in New York, you know what they have in common with Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks' arrest? You know what it is? Democrats did it. Democrats arrest political opposition, and they do it all the time. They did it with Dinesh D'Souza when Obama was president. They put him in prison with murderers, Dinesh D'Souza. Can you imagine? One of the most famous photographs throughout the history of American history since the time of photography during the Civil War is the mugshot, well, not a mugshot, the booking process of Rosa Parks. When she was, and what happened? She got on that bus. A Democrat bus driver called the cops, and a Democrat cop arrested her, and Democrat cops arrested her. Martin Luther King was arrested and put in jail by Democrats. This is what Democrats do. They arrest their political opposition. And much like Donald Trump, Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King were turning the Democrats' world upside down and taking control away from their corrupt establishment. So this courtroom spectacle yesterday made Trump stronger. And by the way, I'm going to make a prediction here. That case is going to end up like Stormy Daniels. She's not going to get 10 cents, and she's going to pay Trump's legal fees. And that tough guy lawyer that President Trump has, I bet he is expensive. Please. They are misusing the legal process, courtrooms, juries, grand juries, prosecutors, and everything else to oppress a civil rights leader, and his name is Donald John Trump, the greatest president ever. Okay? So don't worry about what happened yesterday. It's made him stronger, and it's made us stronger, and it will wake people up that have not been woken up yet, so that they can see the oppression. This is what Democrats do. This is what they do. They misuse their offices. They've always done this. Okay? And they'll never stop. This is how Democrats always will be. The biggest mistake the Republicans made is after the Democrat insurrection. It's called the American Civil War, but it's the Democrat insurrection against the United States government. Is at the end of the Civil War, they should have outlawed the Democrat Party. They should have done it. Because they're terrible people. And you look at all of the things that these leftists tell us America should be ashamed of. They're all brought to you by Democrats. Segregation and Jim Crow, Democrats. Internment of Americans of Japanese descent. Democrats did that. The Tuskegee experiments. Democrats did that. Lynchings. Every black man lynched in America was lynched by a Democrat. And you know what? Every black man lynched in America was a Republican. Democrats opposed women getting the right to vote. Slavery. Democrats. Did I mention the Tuskegee experiments? If I didn't, Democrats. Vietnam, Democrats. Okay? Everything in American history, even the Holocaust of the Indian tribes, Democrats. Jim Crow, I mentioned, Democrats. Democrats did all these terrible things. You know what? And they're still doing terrible things. Look at this slave trade of labor slave and sex slavery that the Democrats are bringing across the southern border right now with this Title 42 thing. Okay? So every stain on this country that the leftists want us to apologize for, brought to you by Democrats. This is how they roll. If you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977. Our number is toll free from anywhere. 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
So did I leave anything off my list? Because I was just off the top of my head. I didn't plan on talking about that. Any other stains on American history I left out that were brought to us by Democrats?
Have you tried the Bloomers CBD drinks? No,
I have not tried those yet.
Okay.
There's others.
Last night,
But what other ones,
I had that. It didn't mix any tequila in it. It was good last night, but
KKK? Yeah, the KKK was the first Democrat community activist organization.
Bloody Mary, pina colada, strawberry daiquiri,
Absolutely.
and frosé. And I think you can
You know, even the rise of Hitler and Mussolini. You know, when Hitler started rounding up Jews, Democrats, because this country was run by Democrats then. Democrats were opposed to U.S. intervention against Hitler until he invaded Russia. And because they're communists, the Democrats, when he invaded Russia in 1940, that's when the Democrats started saying, oh, we got to stop this. We got to stop this Hitler guy. He's gotten out of control now. He's gone after the communists in the Soviet Union. Yeah, so they brought us the Second World War. That's right. That's right. Huh. This is all true stuff. My goodness. Yeah. There were no O.J. riots, by the way. Those were the Rodney King riots. If there's a negative thing in American history, you can connect Democrats to it with a couple of exceptions to the rule, but very few exceptions to the rule. In fact, I can only think of one. I'm not going to tell you. I'll let some Democrat think of it. Hey, New Zealand, welcome. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and everyone like the video. If you don't mind, that helps the channel grow. When you guys like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm that you like the video and they recommend this video to people that have not yet found my channel. So liking the video helps a lot. That's right. Oh yeah, we'll get into Tucker. With Tucker going to Twitter is absolutely amazing. Well, thank you. Welcome. Oh man. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That verdict yesterday, do you agree with me, yes or no? That Trump's going to end up paying her nothing and she's going to end up like Stormy Daniels paying his legal bills in the end? What do you guys think, yes or no? Give me a break. Here we go.
To the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All righty, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. You know, yesterday I did something I don't do too often, lawn work. I was trimming a tree in my backyard. And that tree trimming was possible because of Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. You know, if Dr. Appleton had not rid me of pain in my shoulder a few weeks back with just one treatment of his laser away pain system, I wouldn't have been able to use the equipment. It would have hurt too much because it was my right shoulder, and I'm right-handed. Man, I tell you, Dr. Appleton is amazing. I've gotten a lot more active since he rid me of knee pain, rid me of arthritis pain, rid me of my shoulder pain. Oh man, I was just like becoming a creaky old man. I was going to start to be all hunched over, and I'm feeling great. And you know what? I've even lost weight because I'm more active thanks to Dr. Appleton. Every time Elon Musk launches a SpaceX rocket from Cape Canaveral, I get up on the roof of my house and watch it. Sometimes I make a video, put it up on my YouTube channel. And I couldn't really do that before because my knee was in so much pain getting up and down that ladder and getting on the top of my roof to watch the SpaceX launch. It hurt. It hurt, especially getting down. Oh, man. But now, no pain. His laser away pain treatment that Dr. Appleton has, it works, and it works on all kinds of pain. If you're in pain, stop suffering. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. By the way, that even goes for Saturdays because he's open on Saturdays. You can find Dr. Appleton online at AppletonChiro.com. AppletonChiro.com. He's a chiropractic physician and he wants to rid you of your pain. His number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. All right, there's only one opening on our board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. I'm going to take the calls in the order in which they were received. It's easier right now because they started lining up as I was talking here at the top, so they're in order of the line numbers. So I can keep track of who called first and last that's on the line right now. So let's go to the phones. And coming up, I'm going to get into Tucker Carlson's massive announcement on the future of his great show. All right, you're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, this is Chris from MAGA, Martin County.
Hey.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah, radio talk show. Best radio talk show on the air.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to get one sponsor out of the way because I did buy the pillow topper.
The mattress topper.
From, 2.0 from Mr. Lindell. And let me, I am sleeping much better. It's wonderful.
That's great.
You need to exercise, the listeners need to exercise caution if they buy that.
Oh.
And it's like 60, 70 pounds. And so what you need to do is open the box and pull it out and then roll it. If you have to roll it up a flight of stairs, do that because it's really heavy. It's not like a Walmart 5-pound foam.
Well, because it's real, and you know what I did is because when I just got the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, and I have a house. I'm on the first floor, but I had the guy put it in my front door. I had him put it in my living room. I saw the delivery guy open up the door and said, "Hey, could you set it here?" And he did fine, and I opened it up. But anyway, you were doing good in the beginning, but you're not too good on it when you're doing a commercial. You don't want to focus so much on the negative, but but that's okay. I appreciate it. Now let's get into the issue. No, you got to roll it out and let it breathe. Yes.
Okay, so 3 things that upset me yesterday, and they're just comments. The $2.6 billion approval of aid to Ukraine.
Yeah, well, slow down on that. By the way, how did that happen? I thought we had the MAGA Republicans running. What did Kevin McCarthy do? How did they slip that in?
Yeah, that's my question. I thought all monetary approvals for foreign aid had to come from Congress.
Well, maybe it was some past approvals they made with the Pelosi House, and it was just money sitting there. I don't know, but I want to try to focus in on the topics. Friday is open phones. It's only Wednesday, so we're talking now about this great victory of President Trump's.
Okay, 2 more points. Why does the Manhattan judicial system think they are the United States DOJ?
Because they're Democrats and they're corrupt, evil people.
Okay, that's good. And now, the Dingbat Carroll, this is just a comment, the Dingbat Carroll, the accuser, is a pathological liar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Not so much on the plug because you're not too good at the plugs. That's okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, Brian. My name is Jana, and I'm a first-time caller. And a couple things. My husband and I have been Trump fans as soon as he stepped on that escalator. What I did want to tell you is Kathy and your parents need to be thanked for, Kathy needs to thank your parents and the good Lord for making a man like you.
No.
They don't make men like you anymore. You say what you mean and you mean what you say, and you're dedicated to who you believe in.
That's right.
Appreciate people like you. And I'm 70 years old, and I don't know that I've ever met anybody like you. So that's all I had to say, Brian. It was more of a appreciating you, okay?
Well, I appreciate that. Very good. Thank you so much. In this line of work, you don't get a lot of compliments. You get a lot of negativity, so it's nice to hear a compliment on occasion. If my wife's listening, you hear that? Call my parents and thank them for me. You're on the air. What's your name?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark.
This E.G. Carroll is such a circus. It makes me nauseated because I heard Anderson Cooper's video where she said there was no sex. And
That's right. Which I don't understand how you could be raped without sex. That doesn't make sense.
And they got this new thing where now they're saying that Trump raped her with her fingers.
Yeah, well, that's sex. That's still sex. There's all kinds of sex. You know, remember Bill Clinton depends on what sex is. You know, I have that audio. Let me play this. I played this a couple weeks ago when it happened. This is this lunatic, E. Jean Carroll, on Anderson Cooper.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm-hmm. We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Wow, she's hitting on a gay man on TV. Yeah, she said there was no sex. You can't have a rape without sex. That's a necessary component to rape is the sex. So she said there was no sex. She wasn't ravished. She's a mental patient.
They're just a bunch of nut jobs.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for your show and have a nice day.
All right, Montana Mark. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. Come back. And your calls are welcome. But again, open phones is on Friday, not today. We'll get into Tucker and his new show in just a bit. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I drank a huge bottle of water, like a liter of water before I went on the air. So I'll be running out during the breaks for a while, maybe. We'll see. Hold on. Be right back. All right, I'm back, guys. By the way, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, please like the video, and welcome to everyone. So it looks like the majority in the chat say that Trump's not going to pay her anything, and she's going to pay his legal fees. She's a complete nut job. Complete nut job. Oh man, yeah. I'm going to play Tucker's announcement coming up, so people on the radio can hear it. Mm-hmm. Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen is buried in Fort Lauderdale. When I did that live stream from the beach a couple weeks ago, that's right down the street from where Leslie Nielsen is buried. Maybe next time I go down there and I vlog, I'll go by his gravesite. Airplane is the funniest movie ever made. I love that movie. It doesn't get funnier than Airplane. And it never gets old. I've seen that movie more than any other movie, probably. They could never make that today. I'm serious, and please don't call me Shirley. Remember that? It's just hilarious. You know, this is crazy. I have never seen Blazing Saddles. Never. Which is crazy. But I've never seen it. I know. Well, maybe I'll watch it sometime. Never seen it. I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh my goodness. That movie just never gets fun. It's just nonstop. I love when the PA people at the airport start arguing. That's hilarious. Airplane 2, the sequel with William Shatner, wasn't quite good. But you know, Airplane is a remake of a drama with Dana Andrews called 0 Hour. And my wife and I, we have on iTunes, we bought Airplane and 0 Hour. And if you don't believe me, after I'm done, after 9 o'clock, don't do it now, go on YouTube and search for a comparison between 0 Hour and Airplane. It is a complete remake, almost entirely. The script, too, with Dana Andrews, and it's a drama. And then go watch 0 Hour. You'll love it. It's really good. Roger from Spain, welcome. It is. It's a complete remake. Yeah. 0 Hour. And I can't remember if Dana Andrews is named Stryker in it or not. Here we go. All right, welcome back. Only one opening on our board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We're celebrating this incredible victory of President Trump against E. Jean Carroll, even though the media don't see what I see, but that's okay. You're on the air. What's your name?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, what they say, the devil's in the details, and E. Jean Carroll, unlike Juanita Broderick, doesn't have the details. When you ask Juanita Broderick about what happened to her, she can give you the date, time, hotel, you know, everything, all the grisly details of what Bill Clinton did to her, right? Carroll can't.
Yeah, you know, the reason, you know, E. Jean Carroll, I can understand many years out not knowing the exact date, but the memory would be so ingrained, you could do other associations to at least know the year. And the reason that she didn't even say the year, the reason she didn't say any dates or anything is not only because it did not happen, but she doesn't know Trump's schedule back then. She could say it happened in such and such a time, and he could be, you know, he could have been in California. He could have been in Jersey. He could have been with, you know, Ivana that day. He could have been with the kids off somewhere. So if she said a date, it could get taken away. And I got a big question for you. I saw last night on Rob Schmidt on Newsmax TV, who was spectacular, Rob Schmidt. He had on President Trump's lady lawyer. I'd forgotten her name. She looks like a model. I can't remember. I know all the women around him look like models, except E. Jean Carroll, who he doesn't know. But anyway, she said how can you mount a defense against such an accusation if the person making the accusation can't tell you when it happened? Because part of a defense would be to establish that you were not there.
Is that E.G. Carroll is like this woman that came up against Justice Kavanaugh. She didn't have the details. She couldn't tell you exactly when it happened, how it happened.
Yeah, but Blasey Ford, she got paid, unlike E. Jean Carroll, because they set up a GoFundMe for her and some crowdfunding or something, and she raised a lot of money. But E. Jean Carroll's not going to get 10 cents, and she's going to end up paying Trump's legal fees, and you know, that's that. Hey, Mike, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name?
I'm Louise, the mask lady.
Oh, hey. Do you still wearing the mask?
Oh, yes, I do, in my senior groups and so on. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Now, I'm very confused about a particular thing. In all dressing room areas, there is an attendant to monitor what you are bringing in to a dressing room. So you mean a fine store like Bergdorf Goodman did not have an attendant there? I mean, you can't just go into a dressing room with bundles of clothing.
Yeah.
Monitor.
Mm-hmm.
You count how many garments you're bringing in.
Sure.
No, I haven't heard this at all.
Yeah, and you know, another thing that, you know, Donald Trump has been famous for as long as I can remember, in particular in New York City. How does and at the time, even though she didn't give us a year, she gave a random decade or something, at this time he was one of the most famous men in New York City. How does one of the most famous people in New York City, an A-lister, right? How does he walk into a busy department store and no one notices such a famous man?
Not only that, is he wandering around among the ladies' clothing area?
Exactly.
Wait, wandering in the women's clothing area?
Yeah.
The whole thing, I don't know how it wasn't thrown out from the beginning.
Because you got liberal judges and juries and lunatics. Because they're Democrats.
What about the attendant? That boggles.
Well, how do you, when you're accused of something like this, how can you go and talk to the attendant when the accuser will not even tell you what year it was? You'd have to track down every attendant for the decade.
Just the, how could I say, the way the store runs its area. I mean,
Yeah.
Any store would say, hey, no, we have attendants
Yes.
in that area.
Yes.
Why was that never mentioned?
I don't know. And President Trump was not permitted to testify in his own defense, by the way. The judge wouldn't let him testify over some technicality. Can you imagine? You're being accused of rape, and through a technicality, you got some hack Democrat judge and doesn't allow you to testify.
I thought his attorney did not want him to.
No, the judge said the attorney put in the request too late for him to testify. Guy's being accused of rape. There's no too late to testify. Give me a break.
Ridiculous. I wonder how anybody else feels about the attendance.
Well, we'll find out. I don't know. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, mask lady, okay? She's got a thing for the attendance. Good point, though. You're on the air. What's your name? Good morning.
Oh, Miles.
You're on.
Oh, hey, Brian, how are you doing?
All right, how are you?
I am Dustin from Mississippi.
Hey.
On this side of Mississippi, Florida.
Great.
So, are we still in the Tucker thing?
Well, I haven't gotten into the details of Tucker yet, but you're welcome. I'm going to shortly, so that's part of the. You can talk about that. Tucker going to Twitter with his show. Yes.
Yeah. I heard about that on Timcast IRL last night. I know you know Tim Pool. You talked about it a couple times. And I'm doing this in relation to the show last night. You might want to go back and watch it yourself if you want the full details. I'm probably going to forget.
I don't go to other shows to get details and information and opinions. But anyway, go ahead. What did he say?
Okay. Basically, the entire show last night, or a good portion of it, was basically discussing how Tucker and Elon Musk could probably break the internet if they did bring Tucker's show onto Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I agree. When I get into that a little later on the show, I'll go through all the details. But what I made this prediction about 2 weeks ago when they first fired Tucker. I said Fox News has just made cable news irrelevant. The 24-hour cable news cycle is now irrelevant because they fired Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson taking his show to Twitter, which is what he announced. I'm going to play his announcement in a little bit. It will turn this country upside down. Elon Musk buying Twitter, I knew was going to be a big game changer, but I didn't realize how big.
Yeah, well, I think cable news made itself irrelevant a long time ago, and Tucker being fired was just a fine.
No, that's not true. It's not true. I tell you, I'm usually very far ahead of the news cycle with the topics I discuss on the program, and it's been a frustration for me for many years, and I've heard others like Michael Savage talking about this too. Until something is on the television news, for a lot of people, it's not real. And it has to be, for millions, it has to be on television for it to be real to so many people. And sometimes I'm weeks, months ahead of the news cycle on a particular issue, and I can't stir up interest in the audience sometimes because they haven't seen it on TV. It's not real. And now television news has made itself irrelevant. At least the cable news has made itself irrelevant. And hey, listen, I thank you for the call. And coming up in a little bit, I've got the latest ratings from Fox News, which of course are not good. But I want to finish up with President Trump's victory with E. Jean Carroll. The president made a statement last night. He posted. Let me pull this up. Let me see here. He made 3. Let's see. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. This is President Trump's response to the verdict.
This was a very unfair trial. That's all you have to say. This was a very unfair trial.
Okay, that's one video. We posted 3. Let's see here. Where is the original, though? Because the original one's the long one. I've got so many sound clips today. Okay, this is President Trump's full response to the E. Jean Carroll verdict.
What else can you expect from a Trump-hating, Clinton-appointed judge who went out of his way to make sure that the result of this trial was as negative as it could possibly be? What else can you expect from a Trump-hating, Clinton-appointed judge who went out of his way to make sure that the result of this trial was as negative as it could possibly be, speaking to and in control of a jury from an anti-Trump area, which is probably the worst place in the United States for me to get a fair trial? We'll be appealing this decision. It's a disgrace. I don't even know who this woman is. I have no idea who she is, where she came from. This is another scam. It's a political witch hunt. And somehow we're going to have to fight this stuff. We cannot let our country go into this abyss. This is disgraceful. You have somebody running for office. You have a woman that's financed and lied about it. She totally lied about it by Democrat operatives, like just about the biggest one there is. And she said that wasn't true. They found that she lied about it, and the judge wasn't even, I guess, letting it be put in as evidence. The whole thing is a scam, and it's a shame, and it's a disgrace to our country.
Yeah, and, the president points out that this was a Clinton-appointed judge. He was appointed by a man who assaulted physically and sexually multiple women. Juanita Broderick, who I know, and she's a very nice lady. I get happy birthday messages from Juanita Broderick. She's a nice lady. Bill Clinton raped her twice. He raped her, rested so he could perform again, and did it again. Paula Jones, he bloodied her lip. So, yeah. Kathleen Willey, he assaulted in the Oval Office after her husband's suicide. So you've got a judge presiding over this E. Jean Carroll case who was on the federal bench because of a man who beats up women and has been accused of rape. My goodness. What's that about? We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Brian Craig here. I've
suffered with
Exactly.
my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system.
No links in the chat, guys. No links allowed in the chat. You can't do that. Who knows what the links are too? No links are allowed in the chat. I'm sorry.
I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up to the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician. And with the
Welcome all. Thanks for joining me this morning. Oh man, there's just so much good news today. So much good news.
same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710.
Like my cup.
954-973-0710.
Nice cup.
Make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractor and best roofers in South Florida. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never sell you a roof you don't need. If you have an insurance claim, call your insurance company immediately. Then call Tom Laporta. New laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs, so you don't necessarily need to employ a public adjuster or a lawyer. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. Experience awe-inspiring landscapes and traverse the great Canadian Rocky Mountains on the Rocky Mountaineer Train with bi-level glass dome coaches, August 15th through the 20th. The only passenger rail service that runs on the historic rail route connecting Canada from east to west. Are you ready to embark on this unforgettable journey? Head to briantrain.com and request a brochure. Book your spot now and make memories that will last a lifetime. That's briantrain.com and request your brochure.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone on bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. You know, there is still time to order your Mother's Day gifts from mypillow.com. And, of course, there's not only huge deals with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, at mypillow.com. You can take advantage of all the specials you see at mypillow.com with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. There's a great closeout sale going on. You know, Mike Lindell is doing a warehouse clearing because if you've noticed, they've been upgrading and developing new products like the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper 2.0, the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology. So there's some closeout sales going on to make room in the warehouse for all of these new items. And there's a great deal going on right now on the MyPillow bathrobes. And remember, Father's Day is 1 month after Mother's Day. My MyPillow bathrobe, I have one, my wife has one. We paid about $100 more for it than they're selling for right now during this closeout sale. Just $59.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. Just $59.98, all sizes and all colors. They have a whole bunch of new colors. They have a light robe, a heavy robe. They have styles for both men and women, and a lot of new colors, including pink for the ladies. And not only is there time for you to order for Mother's Day still, you can have whatever you order delivered straight to Mom, you know. And also, the bathrobes, buy 2 of them, one for Mom, one for Dad. Keep the one for Dad until next month on Father's Day. All right, it's great. But again, you can take advantage of all the specials with our promo code KANE at mypillow.com. The bathrobe's a great deal, though, and Mom will love it. Dad will, too, on Father's Day. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. 4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Maria. I'm from Florida.
Hey, Maria.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
All right.
I was very upset. I have a message for President Trump. I can't get to him. I tried to send a message to him. Tell him I said God is with him. He's gonna win this battle. He has to fight it through. And I know it's hard because he's been going through so much. But I have a message for Mitt Romney, the man in the Senate. You said the president is he's unfit to run for office. No, you unfit for being in the Senate.
Yeah.
Get out. Get out the Republican Party. You are a disgrace. And for this lady, I watched this trial. The guy, he's a lawyer, and he's been showing the trial. And it's a disgrace for a judge to interrupt the defense team time and time again. Won't let them speak. Won't let them really cross-examine this woman. She clearly is a nutcase and a liar.
Well, you know what the liberals say, women shall be believed and they should not be questioned. Unless they're making accusations against Democrats like Tara Reade. She was the one who was violated by Trump. And it's interesting that E. Jean Carroll, part of the description of what she imagined happens is what Biden did to Tara Reade, according to Tara Reade. It's almost like she ripped it right out of the headlines, her story.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you defend yourself against, okay, like for example, if there's a bank robbery and you're in court and you're on trial for bank robbery, but the bank won't tell the court when the robbery happened, right? How can you make a defense? Because maybe the bank robbery was in New York, but you were in Nebraska that day or that month. So how can you accuse someone and not have any details as to the time that it happened other than a decade? You can't defend yourself against that.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. A woman stole, let me tell you something. I shop. I go inside the women's mall. I go inside the women's store. There is no way a man gonna walk in the women's store. Nobody's not gonna see him, and he's gonna go in there and touch her any improper way. That's not true.
Yeah.
Cameras in there, and they have surveillance in there. That's just a lie.
Yeah.
And they know it.
Absolutely. And I would like to know how the most famous man in New York City is walking in a department store, ladies' department, and no one notices that he's there. Give me a break. Donald Trump's what, 6'4"? So you've got an A-list celebrity, the most famous man in New York. He's 6'4", well-dressed, and he's a man alone, and he's in the women's lingerie department, and no one notices. Come on.
Not true. It's not.
It's insane.
No, it's not true. And, and I was also listening to them, these phony people, just to tune into what they say on the news about, he been charged with rape.
Wait a minute. You didn't go watch that on Fox News Channel, did you?
Oh, no.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay. All right, no slipping.
So, no. I don't got time for them because they're for my governor. They all for my governor. It's another man that was on Trump, was with Trump for 2 years, the first 2 years of, his first presidency, 4 years, and then he was with him again. I think his name is Cortez, and he came out on Fox Business to George Ron DeSantis. He said, joining the team of Ron.
So you are watching Fox. You're watching Fox Business.
Fox Business. I tuned into it to see what was.
Well, Fox Business is a slippery slope. It's like it's the gateway to Fox. I don't want. Steve Cortez is a disgusting man. He actually wrote a column in Newsweek, and he was with President Trump on both campaigns, and he wrote a column not only advocating for Ron DeSantis, but advocating for Ron DeSantis over Trump. And wrote an article in Newsweek, which I didn't even know Newsweek still existed, but apparently it does. And Steve Cortez, who I always liked, made me sick yesterday I read his column telling us why Ron DeSantis, and here's my question for Steve Cortez. If Ron DeSantis cannot beat Mickey Mouse, how's he going to take on China, Putin, the cartels, and everything else that we're facing? Make no mistake about it. Ron DeSantis got beat big time and humiliated by Disney. Disney has more control over their district than they did before the DeSantis incident. And he lost big time, and they humiliated him. And if you can't beat Disney, you're not ready for the world. I'm sorry. Just not. Yeah, and that's was left out of the Steve Cortez column.
Yeah, he kind of like pissed a couple people off yesterday.
I'll tell you who else I'm sick about. Jenna Ellis is working for DeSantis. She's on Twitter advocating for DeSantis all day. You know, the President Trump's former attorney, Jenna Ellis. These are sickos. I know, Jenna Ellis, Steve Cortez. They're disgusting. I know.
That's crazy. What if they when they said they're gonna be their hero? That just doesn't cannot beat Joe Biden. He can't beat the machine that gonna come.
Well, I don't know what's going on with Jenna Ellis or Steve Cortez. I don't know, other than they've betrayed Trump and our whole movement. But my guess would be they know, like we know, that he's not electable. The poll numbers are, Robert Kennedy is going to pass him in the polls soon, okay? If he hasn't already, and maybe in some polls he has. But they got to be making some money here. They got to be making some money. They got, off the campaign that they feel is enough money to burn the bridge to MAGA and the president forever. It's got to be a lot of money. That's all I could figure, because no sane person could look at DeSantis's poll numbers and say that he's anything other than a loser.
That's wow. Jenna Ellis?
He was,
wow.
Yeah, she's been, for weeks she's been advocating about DeSantis. I used to like DeSantis too, until he said it was okay for Bragg to come to Florida and kidnap a Floridian, Donald Trump. And I'll tell you one thing about DeSantis. He's out of control. The reason he lost to Disney is because a year ago, he went out on television and said, we're going to do this to Disney. And then a year later, he tried to do it. And Disney spent a year setting things up, and they won. DeSantis, when this Bragg grand jury, Democrat Soros grand jury came out with the indictment, he immediately goes out in a press conference and says, well, I'm not going to get involved. You can come to Florida and kidnap Floridians. That's okay with me. He has no self-control. President Trump said a few weeks ago that he will end the war in Ukraine in a week. And they asked him how. And he says, well, I'm not going to tip off Putin. Ron DeSantis has no self-control. And his lack of self-control is why he exposed himself. He was so excited. He thought Trump was going to get arrested. His support would evaporate, and then he'd be the front runner. And he was so excited over that. His wife dresses like Melania and everything, that he ran his mouth off. Same thing with Disney. He has no self-control. It's really it's a sign of his immaturity that he's not patient.
Yeah. I know one thing. He will never get my vote. He went on Twitter and said, "You're done. Like, you need to just go ahead and resign."
Yeah.
To someone else.
That's right.
Because you are hacked, and you're making the Republican Party look bad out here.
Ron DeSantis is unelectable forever. That's right. Hey, listen, take care thank you for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. When we come back, your calls are still welcome on everything we've talked about so far. But after the break, I'm going to get into Tucker Carlson's big announcement. He's announced what he's doing with his show. He's going to Twitter, okay? But he made an announcement. I'm going to talk in detail about it. This is a beautiful thing, and it's huge, huge, huge. My name is Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. That's right. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to a great start. Our daytime high today, about 90 degrees, so it's going to be the hottest day of the week. Very humid outside.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, listen, we should be grateful that he exposed himself. He could have kept his true identity a secret until after he got the 24 nomination and elected, you know. So we got tipped off to him in time to save ourselves from him, you know. That's right. Where am I?
Traffic is service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out this Friday for dinner and a show with the hilarious Jimmy Schubert live at the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC. Jimmy is a last comic standing finalist, actor, and comedian that you absolutely need to see live. This Sunday, treat mom to a special day in the Paddock for our delicious Mother's Day brunch buffet with live music and Hoffman's Treats for Mom. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com. Here's your true oldies.
Oh, man. I'm going to get all the Tucker stuff after the break here at the top of the hour, but you're welcome to call in still about the victory for Trump in the E. Jean Carroll case. For sure still. You can call in about anything I brought up so far throughout the show. And then on Fridays, we have open phones. On Fridays, you can call in about anything on your mind. But Monday through Thursday, we got to be a little more focused. Venezuelan nationals. What a lie that is. Can you believe they're going to arrest George Santos? Are you freaking kidding me? And we don't know for what. For what, winning? these Democrats. Unreal. They must have some information on George Santos poll-wise that tells them that they think he could get reelected. All right, this is the last commercial, and we'll be back. By the way, I'm only 18 subscribers away from 64,000 subs. That's amazing. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And everyone, check and make sure you are subscribed. You know, a lot of times people aren't subscribed and they think they are because you watch my content a lot. So my videos get recommended to you even though you're not subscribed. So check and make sure you are subscribed. And if you're not, please sub. See if we can get to that 64,000 mark during the show. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm 19 away, actually, from 64 subs. 64,000 subs. All right. Yes. So the news is saying that these tens of thousands are Venezuelans They're not Venezuelans, okay? This is a con. You know, if these people, they know all the ways to game the system. How do you know they're Venezuelan? They're undocumented, right? They have no ID, they have no passports, they have no papers, which is a lie. They at least have their baptism information because, you know, they're Latin American, you know, they're Catholic. They want to be able to take Holy Communion. They've got that, especially for the kids. But if you say you're Venezuelan, you get refugee status because of the political climate in Venezuela. You are a refugee and you're automatically admitted. How do you tell a Venezuelan from a Guatemalan? How do you tell a Venezuelan from a Bolivian? You can't. They're liars. They're not all Venezuelan. In fact, most of them probably are not. They're just gaming the system and claiming to be that. Okay, so let me get into Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson put out a shocking announcement on the Twitter yesterday. He is moving his show to Twitter. And he made a very detailed announcement, which I'm going to play for you shortly. This is big. You know, I was talking earlier, and I've been saying this for 2 weeks now, that Tucker Carlson's firing of Fox News ended the relevance of the cable news cycle. Cable news is no longer relevant. And, you know, the nightly news, and, you know, it's an interesting thing. We were talking about Steve Cortez had a column in Newsweek, which I don't believe exists anymore as a magazine. I think it's just a website. Is that true? Can you get Newsweek as a magazine any longer? I don't know if you can, but it's available online. And magazines and newspapers and the evening news on the networks became irrelevant because of the internet, very specifically them covering up the news. And let me just tell you quickly in a capsulized Reader's Digest version of what I'm talking about, and it's very relevant to what's happening with cable news and Tucker and Twitter right now. Most people are aware that Matt Drudge broke the Bill Clinton-Monica Lewinsky scandal, and that was a big deal. The President of the United States was having an ongoing affair with a 25-year-old White House intern. That was a big deal, and it made Matt Drudge famous, rich, and a household name. Drudge Report's gone down the tubes now, but it was a big deal, and it drove the news cycle for years. And prior to that story, the Drudge Report existed, but it wasn't well known. I went to it before that. And Matt Drudge was still working at the CBS gift shop for the CBS studio tour in Los Angeles. Do you know what the biggest story, and this is not a joke, this is serious. Matt Drudge, when he got the Drudge Report, he worked at CBS, and he would take, in the gift shop, if you went on the tour, right? He would take things out of the garbage, memos out of the garbage, out of the dumpster at CBS, and then put it on the Drudge Report. That was his source. Do you know what the biggest story Matt Drudge had before the Lewinsky affair with Bill Clinton? This is true. And I remember this story was on the Drudge Report with the red sirens. I don't know if they still do the sirens. I don't go to Drudge anymore. But that the cast of Seinfeld had signed a $1 million per episode deal in the last season of Seinfeld. It's true. That was the biggest story they had until Lewinsky. And what happened is Newsweek reporters uncovered the Lewinsky affair through Linda Tripp. All right? And this was all stuff that came out because of the Paula Jones investigation and everything, of which Justice Kavanaugh was a part of with Judge Starr. And Newsweek reporters did all the research, did all the interviews, sourced it, and wrote the story. And the Clintons got Newsweek not to print the Monica Lewinsky story to cover for the Clintons. And the Newsweek reporters were fuming. So, as crazy as this sounds, through Laura Ingraham and George Conway and the Lincoln Project people, I know it sounds crazy, huh? They knew Drudge, and they got the story to Matt Drudge. And Matt Drudge reported the story, and the story was a twofold story. It wasn't just that the president was having an affair with a 25-year-old White House intern and was having sex in the Oval Office. It was that Newsweek would not run the story. Pretty big deal, huh? Yeah. Well, that's what's going on now. Tucker Carlson And since then, that's why Newsweek and newspapers and Time don't really exist anymore, and the nightly news is not relevant, and cable news became relevant. Okay? And a similar thing is now happening with Tucker and cable news. They silenced Tucker Carlson for a lot of things. And Tucker Carlson is saying because of the lawsuit, it was a deal made with the lawsuit, and he says a member of the board of directors told him so. That's something, huh? Yeah. So it's that and some other things. So they're trying to silence the truth, and that is Tucker Carlson, and boom. So Tucker Carlson announced he's taking his show to Twitter. And I've got his announcement. He made a video that he posted to Twitter, and I'm going to share it with you now. This is Tucker Carlson's announcement. It's very detailed, and it's awesome. I'm going to play it uninterrupted. And then after I'm done playing it, we'll talk about it and take calls about it, all right? So here's the complete statement of Tucker.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess, it's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We bring some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
Well, this is amazing. And the media are all excited because Elon Musk said, well, he's not signed a contract with Tucker. Well, that's not an accident. He doesn't want to work for Elon, and Elon doesn't want him working for him. And I know people in the media are reporting a lot of things that they don't know, okay, because they're in a panic. The media are in a panic because cable news is not only becoming irrelevant, it's going to become irrelevant rather quickly because of this, okay? This is, I mean, you know, they're in full panic mode, and they're saying that he's walking away from millions of dollars if he does this. Don't be so sure about that. Not just the money that he can make at Twitter, but maybe he's allowed to post to his own social media, his own Twitter. Maybe that's something that they didn't lock up in the contract. Maybe they're still going to have to pay him. This is a beautiful thing, and it's going to change everything. I'm going to take our first break of the hour, come back with some calls, but I'm going to get into the details of what this means, and it's all good. If you support the truth, the First Amendment, the United States, it's good news. If you support lies, limiting free speech, censoring the news and propaganda, it's bad news if you're one of those people. But this is a beautiful and wonderful thing. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free
Well, guys, I'm only 13 subscribers away from 64,000. That is amazing. Thank you, everyone who's supports the channel, who's subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And as I said, if you're already subscribed, check and make sure you are. See if I can get over that 64,000 during the show today. That would be amazing. I know, it's exciting. Wow. It's crazy. It seems like we just hit 50,000. Now here we are approaching 64,000. So that 100K is in sight.
Experience awe-inspiring landscapes and traverse the great Canadian Rocky Mountains on the Rocky Mountaineer Train with bi-level glass dome coaches, August 15th through the 20th. The only passenger rail service that runs on the historic rail route connecting Canada from east to west. Are you ready to embark on this unforgettable journey? Head to briantrain.com and request a brochure. Book your spot now and make memories that will last a lifetime. That's briantrain.com.
At the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals.
I'm just reading over a couple stories I'm going to talk about coming up.
Very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Here we go.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back. Call us on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. You know, Friendly Tire in Margate, they have been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for many years. And I was a customer over there for about a decade before they were a sponsor of this program. And I'll just tell you real quick how they became a sponsor. Steve, every time he got new tires, he would say, "Oh, I got new tires yesterday." And I'd say, "Steve, you got to tell, next time you need new tires." He's got a lot of cars in his family because he's got a lot of kids, right? I said, "Next time you need new tires, tell me before. You got to go to Friendly Tire in Margate." I told him how low the prices are, and still, this happened like 3 or 4 times. And then finally, he came into the studio, and he had his van, and the threads, the belts were showing on the tire. And he says, "Oh, I'm going to go get tires today." And I said, "Go to Friendly Tire in Margate. You're not going to believe how low the prices are." And I really almost had to talk Steve into going. And then he went, and then he called me when he got to Friendly Tire, and he says, "Brian, you were right. The prices here are so low. I mean, it's crazy. You don't even mind buying tires." Now, he has thousands of of used tires in stock that are good used tires at great prices. But he has all the name brand new tires that you would want. I just bought a new set of Goodyear tires for my daughter for her car when she went to California. I just got a new set of run flats for my wife's car, and I got a set of new tires on my car too. You know, and as we're approaching rainy and hurricane season, you don't want to be on the road on tires that don't have the proper tread. Give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. You know, we have listeners that drive hours each way because the prices are that low. When you call Friendly Mike, he's going to give you a quote right over the phone on new or used tires. Okay? And remember, the price he gives you, even on new tires, is out the door and on the road. Okay? Because there's no added charges. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, dispose of your old tire, or any of those other charges those other places charge. The price he quotes you is out the door and on the road. Here's his number, 954-977-9445. He also does tire repairs, which the other places don't do. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. We're talking about this great victory for President Trump against this lunatic Jean Carroll yesterday, and Tucker taking his show to the Twitter, which is awesome. You're on the air. What's your name?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Just want to mention something. Well, first of all, again, a great commercial for Friendly Tire. They are the best. Anyway, this President Trump's case is the craziest thing I've ever heard. How the hell can anybody go along with that woman who doesn't even know the year? I mean, I don't understand what is in New Yorkers' head that would turn it.
You know, like, for example, Doug, if I told you, if I said that you assaulted me, you know, you assaulted me, and we go to court, and I can't tell people even what year it happened, how can you mount a defense? You know, I was talking to a caller earlier, okay? The reason that she didn't give a time or a date or even a year is not, there's two reasons. One, it's not true, it never happened, okay? But the other reason is, if she gave even a year, a month, a year, he could alibi out and show that, well, no, I was in California, you know, working on my golf course out there that whole month, you know, or, you know, that's why. He couldn't. So when you accuse someone of a crime like that, part of a defense is being able to alibi out, and he was not allowed that privilege. You know, I've been assaulted, okay, and over the years, I don't talk about this too much, but some of them were so many years ago. But I've been stalked multiple times by listeners to this program, okay? And one time it ended in a very violent incident that resulted in me being taken to the hospital, okay? I know, I'm not kidding, and I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but the person almost killed me. They almost killed me. I'm serious as a heart attack. They were stalking me, and I got home, and they were hiding in the bushes and attacked me very violently. Now, I cannot remember the exact date, okay? But, and it was very embarrassing because the paramedics that came, they knew me from the radio. The police that came, they knew me from the radio. It was crazy, weird. I get to the emergency room, the doctor was a listener. It was very strange. While I cannot remember the exact date, there were enough other things. It's a memory like it happened yesterday. I don't even know what today's date is unless I look at the computer. It's May 10th. But there's so many things that I remember that I can reference. I can narrow down the date, you know, if I wanted to. But I don't really think about it too much. When you're a victim of an assault, when you're a victim of violence, you're able to pinpoint down a lot of things, as well as she says she told people. These people she told, okay, that have said that they can't tell us when it happened. Come on, you know. There's, you know, there were people that knew. I didn't share it on the radio, but there were people that knew about this incident I'm talking about. Okay, they could pin down the date for me if I had to. You know, she's a liar and a lunatic.
You know, like I said, Trump used to be loved in New York pretty much. I can't see what did they possibly say that turned all these New Yorkers off? And
I'm running for president as a Republican. Then all of a sudden they turned on him. He was terrible.
but no honor. These people have no sense of doing the right thing. Unbelievable. They should have thrown his case out. I'm glad he's gonna. I feel bad he has to spend all his money on appealing the case, but I guess that's what you got to do, man. He has a target. Anybody who's rich has a target. First of all, he's a big celebrity, rich guy, good-looking guy, and he had groupies all over the place. He wouldn't have to worry about going to a dressing room to have sex with somebody.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing I want to mention is this Musk. That's gonna be like the new network. I think everybody's gonna wind up switching over and want to have a show on
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
So this is going to be unbelievable. The networks are going to be losing their business big time.
Oh yeah, and you can. By the way, thanks for the call. The media are going to do everything to tell you that this is a terrible thing, because they know this is going to make them irrelevant. And I really hope that when Tucker launches his show, he can launch it with the January 6th stories that Fox News silenced him from reporting. Wouldn't that be something? If he launched it with a bang like that? Oh, man. What a beautiful thing. Now, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Your calls are certainly welcome at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're calling from. And we've got a lot more to cover on the program today. We've only just begun, guys. That's right, just like the Carpenters, we've only just begun. But this is a glorious, glorious day. I'm here to tell you, there's just good news after good news. Oh, and tonight's the big town hall with the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. I can't wait for that. I'm going to be watching that live. Oh, man. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
No, that story's true. It's been enough. There's others, but that one was bad. It was they jumped me and threw me down on the ground and grabbed me by my hair and started banging my head into the street over and over again. It almost killed me. Yeah. No, that's a true story. I'm not going to say who did it. Not going to say. There's been other things that have happened. I had one stalker who nobody knows in the radio world. They're the behind-the-scenes person. Steve knows, who passed away, and there was one during the COVID time. And this person was really bad. Believe me, when you're assaulted and you have stalkers, you don't forget it. Oh, I got one other thing here on Tucker, and then I got the other things I forgot. This is a pretty interesting thing. Well, you know what it is. When you're a public person, people feel entitled. Well, I don't want to get into the details of it, but that's how people feel. You know. Brian, have you ever seen a Krav Maga class being taught? I don't know what that is. KRAV, Krav? Oh my gosh, I've had other things happen too that are equally as bad as that one.
away from having the body you've always dreamed of. Call 561-717.
That's why I don't do Krav Maga. I have no idea what that is, Vin Man. That's why I don't do too many personal appearances. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Yes, that Israeli training. Yes. There's, because in Florida, in South Florida, there's a lot of Israelis here that teach that stuff. Yes. Yeah. A lot of people in Florida teach that. Absolutely. Yes. Well, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I keep myself a little more isolated than I used to because of the stalkers and weirdos, That's why if you notice when I live stream, like on the weekends when I'm out and about, I don't announce too far in advance. Usually when I put a live stream up, if I'm going to be out somewhere, I do it not long before I do the live stream. Yeah, I didn't do, after one thing that happened that I'm not going to talk about, we didn't do an appearance, I didn't, for years. For a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, we didn't do a personal appearance because of something. And people just, weird, bodyguards. No. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I got one more thing of Tucker here. So Tucker going to Twitter is going to be one of the biggest game changers we've seen in media since television. Really, I mean, it's a huge game changer because the news are not in the business of news; they're in the business of covering up the news. Basically, that's what it is. One of the most disturbing things going on with Fox right now are all of these leaks through Media Matters. Media Matters, which is financed by George Soros, was really founded. Media Matters was really founded to try to stop Fox News many years ago. And Media Matters has been very active in trying to stop Fox News. And now Media Matters has been coming out with all of these leaks of Tucker, like the one I'm going to play for you now. And these are leaks out of Fox News. This one in particular are when the cameras are rolling and they're not on air. So this is definitely someone internal at Fox that would have access to such footage. And this bit of footage is Tucker right before he went on the air for his show. You hear a noise in the background. There's a makeup woman putting makeup on him, and they got a lint brush rolling lint off of his suit. So you hear the lint brush. It's one of those ones that have the sticky things that you rip off, I use that at home for the cat hair and stuff, And you hear that in the background, and Media Matters released this, and he's talking about why you can't have liberals working at Fox News. And this is making its way all over the liberal media, and they think this is a bad thing, to not have liberals working on a conservative show. You cannot have liberals working on conservative shows. They sabotage. You know, over the years, we've had a series of liberal board ops, okay? Now, we don't have that problem now with Mike, okay, because he would never do. But we've had liberal board ops who would keep the mics potted down like really low like this, you know, when we were talking, and we wouldn't know it because they were running the board and stuff. You know, all the calls we take are screenless, okay? All the calls we take are screenless, which I love, and it's a great component of the show. And there's the reason for that is, well, the original reason is I did an overnight talk show, and I had to run my own board, okay? They wouldn't pay for a board op. In fact, they wouldn't even pay me. I got paid the board op pay to do the show, so I started taking the call screenless, but as things progressed, we had a board op. And we had a board op who, he wasn't just screening the calls and putting people on hold. He was sabotaging the show and not putting callers on hold. And I was telling Steve, we tried this for a while. We had some of you may remember when we had our own studio in Coral Springs for many, many years. We were having some renovations done in our studio. And we were broadcasting from the radio station, and we had a board op who was sabotaging the show by not putting callers through. And we went a couple days, and we were in different rooms, and I couldn't hear him. And Steve was in studio with me back then. Okay, now Steve has a studio at his house, and I'm at the radio station here in Palm Beach Gardens, but we didn't have more than 1 or 2 calls. We were there for like 2 weeks. And by the time Wednesday came around, we only had like 1 or 2 calls. And it was like 2 or 3 days. And I told Steve, I said, Steve, he's not putting the calls through. He's sabotaging the show. And Steve said, there's no way. So Steve said, I got an idea. And Steve did something. Which was a little sly. I don't know if Steve wants me to tell all this story. Steve came to the studio and he did it stealthily, so the board op didn't know. And Steve was around the corner listening, and he heard him hanging up on the callers and not putting the callers through. You know, this is I know, can you believe this, Mike? I know, this is what people do when they have a political thing. And well, that was the end of that. But that was taken care of, you know? And, yeah. You know, not screening the call, that's not why we don't screen the calls now, because Mike would not do that. But the reason we don't screen the calls now, when you call in, I just put you on hold, and I take it cold on the air, is it makes the show more interesting. Okay? It makes it a lot more interesting for a couple of reasons. One, we don't know what's coming, right? If I have a board up there and it tells me the name and where they're from, you know, you can tell a lot by that. So when I take a call, I don't know what they're going to say, you know? And there's calls all the time on the program that would never make it through a screener, and that's fine. It makes the show unpredictable and more interesting. It keeps me on my toes. And also, when people call a call screener, they get off their chest what they want to say, so when they get on the air, it's not as exciting because they feel like they're repeating themselves. But yeah, so we had this liberal guy who was not putting calls through. Got busted. We've had several liberal board ops who would keep the pots down low, like I said, like this. This was a common thing, you know, that we used to deal with years ago. And, yeah, I mean, so you can't, you know, liberals are all activists, and they're out to sabotage, okay? So back to Tucker. So this new Media Matters release that someone at Fox leaked to Media Matters is him right before he goes on the air. In fact, at the end of it, you hear him do the intro to his show. The noise you hear in the background is the makeup person with the lint brush getting the lint off his shirt. And he's talking about not only why he can't have a liberal working at Fox, he talks about an incident with Judge Jeanine that I've never heard of before, and I don't think has been public. And the liberal media are saying, oh, look, no liberals over there at Fox. You can't have liberals. So let me play this. This is Tucker from the Media Matters League talking about why you can't have liberals working at Fox.
I did. I talked to her at great length. It was actually pretty funny. I said...
Now, just let me say, he's talking to someone in the studio that you can't hear. He can hear them. You can't hear them. He's not on the air, but it's the camera getting ready to go on the air. And so this is an off-the-air conversation caught on camera.
I did. I talked to her at great length. It was actually pretty funny. I said, you know... she tried to get... I was like, she's got a lot of liberals working over there. And, they see this as war. And we're the main force on the other...
You hear that noise in the background is the lint brush, okay, by the mic.
I didn't like, that's crazy. If you've got pronouns in your Twitter bio, you shouldn't work here. Because we can't trust you because you're on the other side. And she goes, well, who? And I said, I'm not going to name names because I don't know who did it, and I'm definitely not going to cast aspersions on someone unfairly. Just because you're liberal doesn't mean you did this. It doesn't mean you shouldn't work here. And Roger would never put up with it. Why would you do that? Do you know what I mean? They see this as war. It's like, I'm an actual liberal. Like, I'm totally fine being like, our makeup artist is like a screaming lefty. No, but I'm not that way, but they are that way. And I said, I'm not ashamed of anything I said.
You now look like you recently had COVID. You look fresh-faced and healthy.
But do you know what I mean, Justin?
I know it.
If you've got like that horrible guy who was just horrible, who was Judge Janine's guy. That guy. He's like a screaming left-wing lunatic. Why does he work here? What? He totally over his anchor, and then we expect he's not over the network? Like, I don't have specific information on it, but I would... It's just... Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Exactly. It's like I'm telling my children, like, you know what the truth is. You can feel it. Don't lie to yourself.
You were in here?
She's so great. Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight.
Okay, yeah. So see, it just rolls right into it. He's approached. So yeah, now does anyone know what this Judge Janine incident is? She had a liberal that did something to her. Does anyone know what he's referencing there? I know she went on one of those Foxcations. She said something a while back, and when she was doing her Saturday night show, they sent her on, I called them Foxcations. You know, when people do something over there, they get in trouble, and then all of a sudden they take a long plane vacation. But I don't remember what that was for. But you can't have liberals working on conservative programs because all liberals are activists. And even if they're not, their friends are, and they get them to do things like I shared with you and Tucker is talking about here. You know, it's just like a conservative over at CNN would run into problems, right? I mean, this is just what they do. I remember when Bush was president, CNN was carrying a speech of Dick Cheney. And a liberal guy in the control room at CNN put an X graphic over Vice President Cheney when he was giving an important speech. You know, this is how they are. You know, and all liberals view themselves as activists, and disruptions are something that they should, you know, and I wonder, people out there that are in the world of work, hiring, would you not hire someone because they had pronouns in their social media profiles? To me, that sounds like someone looking for trouble. If someone's got preferred pronouns in their social media bio, that's a person you're going to run into trouble with, I would think. Yeah. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the hour and come back. Don't go anywhere.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Have you tried the Bloomers CBD drinks yet?
I have not tried those yet.
Okay, so I got them last night. I got margarita. I had that. I didn't mix any tequila in it. I was good last night, but I slept like a dream and I felt great this morning. Like I had no joint inflammation, nothing. And they have Bloody Mary, Pina Colada, Strawberry Daiquiri, Margarita, and Frosé. And I think you can buy them on their website, bloomersfrosé.com. And I think Frosé is Frose. They're sold in a lot of the liquor stores in town that carry CBD products, maybe like Crown or ABC. I slept great, and my joints were like not inflamed at all. Everything was made with fruit juices. They were vegan. They were gluten-free. They were great.
And we can use CBD legally?
Yeah, CBD is legal under the Farm Act, and it's sold everywhere. For everybody who's taking a gummy, take a drink.
You know what? This sounds perfect for me. I'm going to bloomersfrosé.com.
Brian Craig here. Are you looking for a reliable scooter sales and repair shop? Look no further than Anything Scooters. When my scooter broke down, Anything Scooters took care of everything for me and had me back out on the road in no time. At a great price, too. They have a huge inventory of scooters for sale, both new and used. They offer financing. They also accept trade-ins for all new and used scooter purchases. So don't let that old scooter sit in your garage. Trade it in and get a great deal on it. If you're looking to upgrade your scooter's performance, they got you covered. Their scooter and several oil changes, two engine rebuilds, even high-performance modifications. And anything scooter use only top-quality oils and replacement parts to ensure that your scooter runs like it should. They're very friendly and they have great customer service. Visit anythingscooters.com or give them a call directly. 954-226-8710. 954-226-8710. 954-226-8710. Online, anythingscooters.com.
Hey, it's Vic from the TLC, and I'm living proof that the One Life Health and Performance customized weight loss plan works. Thanks to the personalized services of Dr. Winnard and his team, I am down 45 pounds. I feel great.
By the way, that does work because I've seen him. Oh my gosh, he's lost a ton of weight.
Thanks to One Life Health and Performance, I am starting to live my best healthy life.
When you become a patient of One Life Health and Performance, you can be sure that your health and wellness goals.
I'm answering emails and
Our
DMs.
team will be by your side every step of the way to make looking and feeling your best not just a dream, but a reality. Visit onelifehealthandperformance.com to be your best, most healthy self today. onelifehealthandperformance.com.
This is Lori.
I'm not naming names.
They think of the pain, but the biggest
No names. No names. Most of the people you wouldn't know about. The board op saboteurs. I'm getting text messages from someone trying to get the names. No names.
954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
It sure is. Oh man, welcome back. One and all callers on hold, stand by. So much to cover. Oh man. Oh, the Sloman's free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation offer is back. That's right. You can get a free doorbell camera, but you got to be one of the first 40 listeners to call 1-833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. And if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call, you'll get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. You'll be able to see your home no matter where you are, right in the palm of your hand. But that's not all. Sloman's, they're going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Now, this is a limited time offer, so call right away. Take advantage of this. You'll love it. I have one. It'll change your life. 1-833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. Okay, on the saboteur board ops, I'm not going to name names. I'm getting text messages and things from people, not just Al Knight, I'm getting text messages from others, and I'm not naming names, okay? I'm going to protect the guilty. All right, you're on the air. What's your name?
Hi, good morning, Brian.
Hey, Chris.
Great. I'm amazed at how often these Democrats and liberals outdo themselves. I mean, honestly, I thought I heard it all during the Kavanaugh hearing. And wow, now this with this woman accusing Trump without any, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. And judge after judge being extremely liberal and obvious, and they're never held accountable.
You can't accuse someone of a crime and not be able to nail down some time period so that they can account for their whereabouts. I mean, if she gave a month, even a whole month, like say this happened in June '88, and we found out that President Trump was spent that whole month in Florida, there goes the case.
Exactly. I mean, even how he, great show. I mean, you could bring up the fact that, him being popular. I mean, I grew up in New York. Donald Trump was one of for decades. You know what I mean? So who doesn't notice a statue like that? Not only is he famous, like you said, he's 6'4", he's handsome. I mean, and
an A-list celebrity. When someone's a celebrity, every eye in the, I've been with things with real celebrities before, big, well-known, famous, worldwide famous people. And I'll give you one example, okay? I've been with very famous people in public at public events. I was with William Shatner at the airport in Orlando. And I went with him to, from the plane to baggage claim and then to the hotel and everything. And I remember walking through the airport with William Shatner. It was very crowded. It was like the parting of the Red Sea. People, no matter what they were doing, stopped and stared. When someone's that, it was, and he didn't even notice it because that's his life. Donald Trump was that famous then in New York. And the idea that President Trump is in a department store, in the women's lingerie section, alone, come on. And no one saw it? And why can't E. Jean Carroll's friends say, well, E. Jean Carroll called and said it happened at this point? Come on. No one can call, give me a break.
As you were covering, I was thinking also, how about the timing of this? Because they just don't want him to run because he's the only one that can beat these creeps.
Mm-hmm.
Would this have come up before during his other campaign or all these other accusations?
Yeah, she's insane. E. Jean Carroll, I watched her when she left the courtroom yesterday. She didn't talk to reporters. She's probably saving it for the Coven of the View or some paid interview or something. I don't know. But when she walked out of the courtroom, or out of the courthouse, E. Jean Carroll yesterday with her slimy legal team to her car, she looked, I don't know how many of you have seen Sunset Boulevard. You ever seen Sunset Boulevard? It's a great movie. The last scene in Sunset Boulevard when Norma Desmond is walking and the police are there arresting her and everything, and she's crazed. She thinks she's filming a movie, and all this stuff. That's how E. Jean Carroll looked. She looked like Norma Desmond at the end, right before the credits rolled, of Sunset Boulevard. And if you've seen Sunset Boulevard, even the Broadway show, you know exactly what I mean. She looked insane. She looked crazed.
She's got to be crazy to carry that out, no matter how much money whoever's paying.
Well, it's not going to be Trump. He's not going to pay her 10 cents. She's going to lose, and then she's going to have to pay his legal fee. She's going to be paying him, just like Stormy Daniels.
You're in there to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what side you're on.
Mm-hmm. All right, hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right, take care. All right, now today, there's lots of big stuff happening today, right? We got the town hall meeting with President Trump on CNN tonight. But today we've got the House committee coming out with their evidence on the bribe that Biden took. And we got a little bit of information yesterday. I don't know if this is the bribe or another bribe, but Steve Bannon had a reporter on yesterday. Her name is Natalie Winters. And she says that the House committee today will reveal evidence that Joe Biden received money from Romania while he was vice president. So I don't know if this is the bribe we've heard about or another bribe, but part of what they're going to share today is not just allegations. They have a paper trail. And Biden, when he was vice president, took a trip to Cyprus. I mentioned this yesterday. He took a trip to Cyprus. He was the first vice president to travel to Cyprus since Johnson was vice president. So first time in 50 years. And it was no press and it was no events. It was all private. And Cyprus is where Burisma's bank is. You know, so there's going to be a huge paper trail revealed today. And this is what's going on here. Okay? The deep state and the establishment do not want Joe Biden to run, so they're trying to get him out of the race. All this information is being leaked out by the Justice Department. Remember, I was telling you guys, I think it was last week when we were talking about it. Time just flies, you know. Days and times don't even matter anymore, right, with E. Jean Carroll. It doesn't matter what the day is, what the date is, doesn't matter. Don't even know the year. Nothing matters anymore. Time is just something that was established by white supremacists, white, you know, privilege and all that. We don't need to worry about time anymore. But, well, you know, would it surprise you? But this one source they have that's an FBI whistleblower, this was sent by the deep state. They went to Biden, tried to get him not to run, and him and Jill just wouldn't have it. And he went and announced. Now, I'll tell you, I thought it was going to be Gavin Newsom. But Gavin Newsom came out yesterday and said something that indicates that he's not running for president. And I was surprised to see this. Now, it doesn't mean he's not, but it would lean towards him not. You know, all this talk about reparations from California blacks, big deal, right? Which makes no sense since California never had slaves. Gavin Newsom has come out and said that he is opposed to reparations. He's opposed to it. The reparations thing, if he were serious about running for president, reparations are never going to happen, okay? But if he were running for president, I think he would dangle that around as a tease to try to get blacks to vote for him nationally. Well, I'm going to give reparations to everybody. You know, and the fact that he said that indicates that he's not going to run for president. That would be my guess. But, you know, hey, listen, anything can change. You're on the air. What's your name?
Well, good morning, Brian. How are you? This is Barbara calling you from Baltimore.
Barbara in Baltimore. Hey.
Hey, I'm doing the listen. I grew up in New York.
Oh.
And a lot of people may not be familiar with what happens in a high-end store like Bergdorf Goodman, because we used to go there, you know, like if we were cutting school or something like that. We'd go, you know, window shopping and stuff in stores where we couldn't afford. You do not go into any dressing room without the attendant being outside. When you're in a store, high-end store, you have an attendant who brings your items out that you don't want. You know, like if you're in Walmart, you go get stuff, somebody counts it, takes, you know, you go out and get other things if it doesn't.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen at Bergdorf Goodman. At Bergdorf Goodman, there is an attendant who takes out what you don't want as you collect what you do. You may go out and look for some other things while you have on something that you are buying. You may go out and look for some other things. But there is an attendant. The woman is lying. It was real easy for her to say that, but I have been in those stores. I love going into B. Altman, Bergdorf. I mean, there are a lot of stores high-end in New York.
Yeah.
And she's lying. And he is going to win this. I'm so, you know, and he's going to get it.
Well, see, I just, you know, keep in mind, you know, President Trump pointed out in his response, this is a Clinton-appointed judge. This judge was appointed by a man who has been accused of twice raping Juanita Broderick and has beat up women, like Paula Jones. According to them, they've all said this, right? Paula Jones said he bloodied her lip, you know, and all that stuff. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that a man appointed by Bill Clinton, you know, you got to be a real scummy person to accept an appointment by Bill Clinton, who, with all the things that women said that he did, you know, and would be against a Republican. But how could a judge allow a case to come forward like this when the person will not even tell you what year it happened? Because, see, correct.
She's insane. I heard her, she was being interviewed by someone when she said something about rape and something that
Yeah, I played that earlier. It was Anderson Cooper. She said she said there was no sex involved. It was a sexless rape, which is impossible. Listen.
So
yeah,
I can't wait for this to go to the appeals court because he will win it.
All right, listen, I got to run for our top of the hour break, but good call. Thanks so much. All right, take care. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to a great start. Our daytime high today, about 90 degrees, so it's going to be the hottest day of the week. Very humid outside. We're starting to see those dew points inch up, and a slight chance of some inland storms this afternoon. I'm WPVF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. And the Palm Beach is the major expressway.
Trump, it's 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. I'll play that E. Jean Carroll thing again. I was going to move on to some other audio because I got some other great audio, but I'll play that because not everyone has heard it. Let me find it. I just played it earlier. I'll play that E. Jean Carroll thing when we get back.
Traffic is service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out this Friday for dinner and a show with the hilarious Jimmy Shooter live at the Panic Restaurant at PBKC. Jimmy is the last comic standing finalist, actor, and comedian that you absolutely need to see live. This Sunday, treat mom to a special day in the Paddock for a delicious Mother's Day or live music and Hoffman's treat.
Oh, yes, you do remember.
For information, go to pbkennelclub.com. Here's your true oldies ABC.
You know, the way it works is you may not remember the exact date, but the incident is so clear to you when you're a victim of a violent crime that you remember so many other things that you could reference to determine the date. You understand what I mean? And obviously, people you interacted with could be contacted to try to get that date.
Border officials predict up to 10,000 people will try to cross the border each day, far more than the 3,500 that can come.
Well, thank you, Beverly.
Congressman says at least 80,000, mostly Venezuelan nationals, are headed to the U.S.
ABC's Andrew Dimberg said that Chicago declared a state of emergency due to the influx of migrants. Still no deal. President Biden and congressional leaders meet again about the debt ceiling Friday. Congressman George Santos was reportedly caught off guard by news that he's being charged by federal prosecutors. The charges, though, remain sealed to appear in court as early as today. This is
Unbelievable.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go.
We'll come back shortly. This is our top of the hour break. Sometimes, I got a message this morning. Someone said that I should talk more during the breaks. During the breaks, a lot of times, I've got to rest my voice and my mouth. I talk so much on the show, on the podcast, and, all these commercials that you hear on the show. My jaws now are sore. They're sore right here, So I got to rest my voice and face and muscles sometimes. So.
Free arm doors and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 True Oldies channel listeners to dial 1-33283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now.
Exactly, Fire Captain. It's like, for example, tell me where you were on 9/11. Tell me. Not those of you that were there, those of you that were not in New York. Where were you on 9/11? Remember exactly who I was with, where I was, everything. Not those of you in New York, because that's more true. But those of you that were not in New York, where were you on 9/11? Exactly. Like when I was a kid growing up, everybody knew where they were when they heard Kennedy got shot. There's certain things, it's like, you remember. I remember exactly where I was and who I was with when the Challenger exploded. You know? Exactly. You don't have to think about it.
Since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
You know, this thing with E. Jean Carroll, you know, can't remember the year, right? Can't remember the year. When something traumatic happens, you remember everything. I ask you this question. Answer this question. I don't want to get calls on this. Please do not call me on this. Where were you on 9/11? Without even thinking, you know exactly where you were on 9/11. When I was a kid, because this was before my time, but some of you that are older, you know, it used to be a big thing. Everybody remembers exactly where they were, no matter how young they were and who they were with when Kennedy got shot. President Kennedy gave a speech once, and he says everyone remembers where they were when President Roosevelt died and when they heard about Pearl Harbor. Remember that? There's certain things that happen you remember. Being the victim of a violent sexual assault. By the way, she claimed a full rape in the court proceedings. Yeah. Since the last caller referenced it, I played this earlier. I want to play it again because it shows you how nuts she is. This is the E. Jean Carroll interview with Anderson Cooper where she said there was no sex. Very bizarre.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. It just, you know.
Well, I think most people think of rape as a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm-hmm. We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Here she is. She's coming on to a gay man. No sex, she said. Wow. You're on the air. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Nick in Baltimore. What's up?
Well, I wanted to say one thing about this. I don't know whether you referenced this at all, but I was watching Newsmax yesterday when the story was coming out, when the verdict was happening, and they mentioned the fact that she got this idea, and she mentioned the Law and Order episode.
I heard that reference in the news. Yes, I heard that, but I didn't get specific. Was it the dressing room?
The dressing room, and it was at the very store. They did an episode referencing the store, that very store.
Wow.
The whole thing is made up. The whole thing is made up.
Listen, this jury decided the verdict before they got the notice for jury duty.
Of course. It's, but the other thing my sister mentioned, and I didn't know, in the movie, was it Dressed to Kill, Angie Dickinson, I think, talking about fantasizing about being raped. And that's what this.
Wow. Dressed to Kill, which is kind of a remake of Psycho, kinda. Michael Caine, remember? He's in it. You're right. I remember that in Dressed to Kill because it was such a weird. I watched Dressed to Kill a couple years ago with my wife, and I remember Angie Dickinson saying that. I thought that was so strange. So she took a line from Dressed to Kill. She took a storyline from Law and Order and turned it into her reality.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then like you mentioned, when she walked out of that courtroom, it was the weirdest look, and the lawyers holding hands with her. It was like.
Well, they were holding hands because they were pretending to console her, but she was grinning ear to ear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But
It is. It is. But you know what? It's going to be a glorious day when we get all the evidence, the documented evidence of the Biden bribe and banking information today.
Oh, yeah. It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be right in front of the TV then on Newsmax, not Fox. Don't go to Fox. Don't go to Fox. And don't go to Fox Business. Fox Business is kind of like a gateway to Fox. You start watching Fox Business, next thing you'll know, you'll be watching Fox News.
I removed their apps.
Wow. Yeah, wow. All right, Nick, take care, man. Thanks for the call. Yeah. Okay, now, I got a couple clips here I want to play. Do we have time? Yeah, I got time for one. Which one am I going to? I got so much here. Let me play this one. This is the Coven of the View. See, there's this new narrative going around after this Texas shooter that you can be Hispanic and be a white supremacist. And have you noticed that on Monday they were telling us that this shooter was a Nazi? I was telling you can't be Hispanic and be a white nationalist. Nazis are not woke and they're not into diversity quota inside their organization. To be a Nazi, you have to be white. And I mean really like Aryan. You have to be white. You can't be Hispanic. And I've noticed that whole narrative is dropped. The media are not focusing in on this Nazi shooter in Texas who's Hispanic, Garcia. Interesting, huh? Maybe they've realized how stupid it is. Well, it takes a while for the Coven of the View to get caught up. This is Anna Navarro, who's supposed to be a Republican, and she's talking about Hispanic and black white supremacist. I'm not kidding. No, I'm not kidding. This is ABC News runs The View, by the way. Anna Navarro, who's friends with Jeb. She's part of the Jeb team that's behind Governor DeSantis's fantasy that he's going to be president. Listen, Anna Navarro on The View.
Remember that the head of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio. The Proud Boys is a white nationalist group.
Okay. Now, I'm not a defender of the Proud Boys, and I don't know what kind of group they are. I know they're in a lot of trouble all the time. If the Proud Boys is a white nationalist group, they believe that, everything should be white and all that stuff. Would a white nationalist group pick a Hispanic man, Latino, to lead their group? I mean, am I just nuts? Am I behind the times? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I just thought that white nationalist groups only picked whites to be their leaders. But according to Anna Navarro on The View, do the Klan, do they have a black leader, or do they have a Jewish guy leading the Klan now? Or have these hate groups gotten into wokeness?
Remember that the head of the Proud Boys, his name is Enrique Tarrio. The Proud Boys is a white nationalist group. Look, being Hispanic or being black or being anything, does not make you immune from being racist.
Okay, that's correct. Anyone can be racist, but they blame all racism on white supremacy and white nationalism. So listen to what she says next.
Being racist, from being radicalized, from being a white supremacist, from being evil, from being homicidal, and we are seeing it over and over again. There are people, they don't see themselves as what they are.
Okay, they don't see themselves as what they are. So what she means is there are Hispanic and black people who don't see themselves as Hispanic or black, think they're white, and they're white supremacist. Now, Dave Chappelle, when he was doing the Chappelle Show, did you ever see the Chappelle Show about the blind white supremacist? The blind Klansman? Did you ever see this? It was hilarious. Dave Chappelle, this was on the Chappelle Show. I'm sure you can find this online. It's hilarious. Dave Chappelle is playing a blind white supremacist Klansman, and he doesn't know he's black because he's blind. And the skit is a news crew is doing a story on it, and then at the end they tell him he's black. Oh, it's hilarious. I'm not going to give you the punchline. You wait till after 9 o'clock. Don't do it now. But later, go and watch it. You'll see. So Anna Navarro thinks that there are black men and Hispanic men who don't see themselves as black or Hispanic, think that they're white, and they're white nationalist Nazis and white supremacists. That's on network television. That's ABC News. Boy, Peter Jennings, as left-wing as he was, must be turning over in his grave listening to what happened to ABC News that he helped build into a big thing. All right, we'll take our break. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Experience awe-inspiring landscapes and traverse the great Canadian Rocky Mountains on the Rocky Mountaineer Trail.
I was just going to do this commercial. I'll do it the next break.
Passenger rail service that runs on the historic rail route connecting Canada from east to west. Are you ready to embark on this unforgettable journey? Head to briantrain.com and request a brochure. Book your spot now and make memories that will last a lifetime. That's briantrain.com and request your brochure. Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two.
Oh, man. The show is flying by. Just 45 minutes to go, guys. Oh, yeah. Dave Chappelle's hilarious. I don't want to spoil the punchline of that Chappelle skit. His last line is hilarious. What Ana Navarro means is anyone who's black or Hispanic is a white supremacist if they're a MAGA, right? That's what she thinks. If they're Republican or MAGA, they don't know that they're black or Hispanic. I guess is what she means, even though she's supposedly a Republican.
The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned, family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathics, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top-quality brands. We also have tons of
Nick
natural
Fuentes
foods like
is Mexican.
paleo and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Denson, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmines Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World, Palm Beach Gardens.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now, here we go.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Oh, yes. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
Yes. What's your name?
Hi. My name is Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, I don't really know a lot about the Proud Boys either, but I do want to let you know the Summer of Love in 2020. I watched a lot of live reporters or freelance filmers that were in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
What was going on is a lot of times Antifa an event or even a religious event. And so the Proud Boys, if they got wind of it, they would go to stage off to the side, and if any trouble.
Well, I don't know. You're not gonna get me defending the Proud Boys, so you can do that all you want. But what Ana Navarro is saying here is, you know, she's Hispanic, she lives in Miami, and she's Republican. She's saying that there's a lot of black and Hispanic people who are MAGA, and they don't know that they're black or Hispanic. And because they're MAGA, they're white supremacist. It's one of the dumbest things you could possibly say or think. I mean, it's just stupid. Yeah, Larry Elder. According to Anna Navarro, Larry Elder and Dr. Ben Carson would be white supremacist. Even though Cuba Gooding Jr. played Dr. Carson in a TNT movie, but he's a white supremacist according to Anna Navarro and The View. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now you get it. All right, hey, listen. Yeah, I appreciate the call. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you know, there is still time to order your Mother's Day gifts from mypillow.com. They can still arrive in time. And, you know, you can have your Mother's Day gift delivered right to Mom's house, too. You can do that. People do it. And you can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. But, you know, Father's Day is 1 month after Mother's Day. And I argue that Father's Day is probably the most important day of the year. Certainly when it comes to holidays, it is to me. But there's an incredible closeout sale going on right now on the MyPillow bathrobes. Just $59.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout. $59.98, great deal. This closeout sale will end when they start running out of inventory, and it's going to happen at this price. So go and buy 2 of them, one for Mom, one for Dad. Give Mom hers on Sunday, keep Dad's until next month, and give it to him. He'll be very happy. Okay, just $59.98 at mypillow.com with the promo code Kane and check out K-A-N-E on the MyPillow bathrobe. All right, you're on the air. What's your name?
Angelo.
Hey, Angelo, what's up?
I wanted to make a little thing from yesterday. You guys are wondering why DeSantis went after Disney. I think it all started, I remember, it all started because of the wokeism that Disney was promoting through their films and in general in their parks. And, yeah, you didn't have an answer for that yesterday. You kind of getting stumped on that.
No, that wasn't it. What happened was with Disney, when DeSantis started calling them out on their wokeness, what had happened was there was a Zoom meeting from the Disney animation team with a Disney executive that got leaked out, okay? And they were talking about how they get all these weird agendas subliminally in their cartoons and things. And Ron DeSantis came out and was very, very critical of them for doing this. And this Zoom meeting video went viral. Everyone was talking about it. I played it on the air, and it was shocking. So then Disney, in response, said that they were going to start backing Democrats running for state office here in Florida and get Ron DeSantis and the Republicans voted out of office. And that's why DeSantis went after them.
All right, good enough reason, though.
I was not stumped. I was not stumped yesterday. I just didn't go through the whole explanation. But what's happened with Disney and DeSantis, Disney has become DeSantis's Moby Dick, and we know how that turned out for Ahab. And I was telling her, and I'm serious about that. You know, I'm serious about that. I said to a caller yesterday, Disney is to DeSantis what the Iran hostage situation was to Jimmy Carter. He's done. He's done. He is unelectable forever for a variety of reasons, but he's humiliating himself with Disney. All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name?
Dave from Virginia.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, Brian, this sounds like something that the prosecution got from the Adam Shifty Schiff's book on how to get Trump.
Well, you don't want to use that book because Shifty Schiff couldn't get Trump.
He still had a book with a bunch of things that he made up to try to get him.
Yeah, but if you want to get Trump, you don't go to Adam Schiff because he doesn't listen. No one's ever gotten Trump on anything. Do you know why? Why have they not gotten Trump on anything?
Because it's all lies.
That's right. And you know, remember when they had that Mueller witch hunt going on, you would see all these legal experts say on TV, "Show me the man, I'll show you the crime." How many times you hear that? Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Well, here we are, how many years later? And you don't hear them say that anymore. They could not even craft a crime. They tried. That's how squeaky clean President Trump is.
Yeah. Well, it was good talking to you again, Brian.
All right.
Had some audio.
All right, take care. Hey, by the way, what was the name of your governor that wore the Klansman outfit, that Democrat? I forgot his name.
Oh, my gosh. That's before I moved over to Virginia. I can't remember.
Yeah, what was the name? Somebody was asking me that yesterday, and I couldn't remember. The Democrat governor of Virginia that was in the Klansman uniform. I couldn't remember. All right, anyway, I thought you'd know. All right, take care. I'm serious. I was still, I could not, I'm sure I could Google it, but hey, it's not that important. So President Trump's town hall, they're going to be focusing quite a bit on this E. Jean Carroll thing, I imagine, right? Here you got CNN, who had Jeffrey Toobin on. Remember what happened with Jeffrey Toobin? He was masturbating in a Zoom meeting to a female that was in the meeting. Remember that? They took him off the air for a while at CNN, and then they brought Toobin back. That had evidence, because there was a visual evidence with multiple witnesses in the Zoom recording. So I really hope that the president tonight, if they bring up this E. Jean Carroll lie, that he happens to sneak in there that they kept Toobin on after he did that at the Zoom meeting, which is a real assault. I mean, that was a real violation what Jeffrey Toobin did. I don't understand. He's been hired by another outlet now. Toobin has been hired by News Nation. I don't know why these liberal news outlets have this love affair and fascination with Jeffrey Toobin. Who is this guy that after he did what he did on that Zoom meeting, that they still put on television? It's bizarre. Bizarre. All right, listen, we're coming up on our bottom of the hour break. There's much more to discuss. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And don't forget, if you miss a portion of the show or you miss a show, which, I'll try not to take that personally if you miss a show or a part of a show. But if you do, each day about an hour after we sign off the air, the entire show is uploaded on our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com, as a podcast. trueoldiesfla.com. Each day about an hour after, and then the shows are archived up there forever. So go to trueoldiesfla.com and catch, even your call if you want to hear your call. All right, trueoldiesfla.com. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces.
Oh, man. Someone texted me, a friend of mine texted me, they said hiring Toobin is a stroke of genius. And they put stroke in quotations. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
Expressways are crash free, but we're seeing delays heavy on 95 northbound from Deerfield Beach to Boca, and south on the 2 Beach Boulevard and Inland Gap. The turnpike is also starting to slow passing the road. We're slow on 1 TBF crash on Village Boulevard and 45th Street. Royal Palm Beach Boulevard is north of 60th Street North. And another crash makers on Atlantic Avenue with the turnpike. Speaking of the turnpike is still shut down.
I've got some more audio. I'm trying to decide which one to play first. But because I've got a couple. I've got one I've been wanting to play all week and I haven't gotten to it.
Traffic is service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out this Friday for dinner and a show with the hilarious Jimmy Schubert live at the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC. Jimmy is the last comic standing finalist, actor, and comedian that you absolutely need to see live. This Sunday, treat mom to a special day in the Paddock for our delicious...
President Trump has a CNN live town hall meeting on CNN tonight at 8. Tonight at 8, live town hall meeting. Just 5 subscribers away from 64,000 subscribers. Oh my goodness. Thanks everyone who subscribed. If you're not, please subscribe. And everyone who thinks they're subscribed, go and check and make sure you are. You may not be. You just may watch my content and I get recommended to you a lot. 5 away from 64,000. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Give Dr. Appleton a call right now. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Open Monday through Saturday. Appointments not necessary. And walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized cash rewards.
Well, thank you, Sim, and welcome to the channel. Sim, just subscribe just now. Welcome.
Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more-rewarded and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association, and your roof is old,
Do you have the notification bell clicked?
Contracting, Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractor and best roofers in South Florida. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never sell you a roof you don't need.
Oh, just 2 subscribers away from 64,000 people. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. I just got goosebumps. That's amazing. MAGA for life, man. MAGA for life. If you miss Trump, you got to watch CNN tonight for the town hall. Well, thank you so much, Florence. That's a very big compliment. You know, Steve was friends with Rush and worked with him, and Rush listened to us very regularly because he was, you know, he lived here. We didn't talk about it at the time, but yeah. Yeah, Steve worked with Rush before he was super famous. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Hey, Jessica.
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm okay. I am calling because I want to make an announcement to every Republican out there that listens to your show for 2 hours to take your program with a grain of salt.
Oh, why?
Because for 2 hours, you beat up on DeSantis daily.
What have I said about DeSantis that's not true? What have I said about Ron DeSantis that is not true?
What have you said about DeSantis that it is true?
No. You're accusing me of misrepresenting Ron DeSantis. So give me an example of something I have said about Ron DeSantis that is not true.
Well, what you have said about DeSantis is that he didn't help Trump when he was supposed to.
Correct.
I agree with you on that. Now that's how.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. I didn't ask you to. You're saying that I'm saying untrue things about DeSantis. I asked you to give me an example of something I've said to back up your charge against me, and you did the opposite. You gave credibility to me by agreeing with me on something I've said about DeSantis. I asked you give me something I've said about him that's not true.
Well, let me ask you something back. What has DeSantis done to help the state of Florida?
No, you don't answer a question with a question. You called in and accused me of misrepresenting Ron DeSantis and unfairly attacking him. So I asked you to give me an example of something I've said about him that is not true, and you can't do it.
You attack him daily.
Well, what have I attacked him on that's unfair and untrue?
Well, the thing is that Ron DeSantis is a great governor. Just because he didn't help Trump when he was supposed to, that doesn't.
No. What did? Now, are you aware that you can't think of anything I've said about DeSantis that's not true? You have one example, and I was right on that one according to you.
Well, because what you're doing, you're basing your hatred towards him based on politics just because he didn't help Trump. You're a Trump supporter. So just because you're a Trump supporter, everything that Ron DeSantis does is wrong.
Okay, since by the way, I will accept an apology. What's not okay?
No, what's not okay is what you're doing. That's saying that he's not unelectable when he is electable.
He's unelectable forever. He has dropped 40 points in the polls.
Well, in Florida, because Trump is.
Well, hold on a second. He is the governor of Florida. If you can't win your own state, how can you win the rest of the country?
Has he said that he's running?
Not officially.
Okay. Well, because he's not going to run. That's why.
Oh, you say he's not going to run. Well, then we'll lay off.
Well, then maybe you need to back off and let him do his job.
Back off?
Eventually.
No. Ron DeSantis lied to the people of Florida, and he lied to President Trump. He said in the past that he would not run against Donald Trump, and here he is. When Bragg's... They just changed Florida law so that he can run for president and be governor. He's not, he may have changed his mind, but he has been talking about it. He has been implying that he is running. Now, he may change his mind because he's a loser who's unelectable now.
No, don't say that.
It's true.
Great job for the people of Florida. Haven't you seen all the laws that he's been passing and signing? Why is it that you don't give him credit? Why don't you give him credit on the immigration bill that he's going to sign or that he just passed? I'm not saying he hasn't done some conservative things, but I'm here to tell you he's owned by Paul Ryan and Jeb Bush. They are never Trumper Republican establishment people. All right? It's true. The radio station we have that is conservative here in Florida is your radio station. Every other radio.
Okay, so what does that tell? Well, hey, I'm as conservative as it gets. See, let me explain to you. Okay, hold on. Let me. What?
That you are fair and that you are balanced within the Republican Party.
I am very fair. In fact, I was with the governor a couple days before the election at Wings Plus, one of our sponsors. I was at a private. I'm not a donor, but I was in the group where the donors are, and they paid like $2,000 plus a table to be in the room. I was there for free, and I said that something's changed about him from the last time I met him. He was different, and now she hung up. She hung up, guys. She hung up. I did not hang up on her. Okay? She hung up. But if you think I'm being unfair to Governor DeSantis, call me. And I think you would be much like her. You would not be able to think of something I've said about him that is untrue. If I've said something about someone that's not true, I want to correct the record. Okay? I want to correct the record. I don't want to be saying things that aren't true. And I asked her to give me an example of one thing I said about Governor DeSantis that is untrue. She gave one example of something she said I was right about. He didn't stand up for Trump. You know, he could have done a couple of things. One, he could have had a governor's investigation. He's allowed to do this to look into the validity of the extradition request. He should have flown to New York with him. If Kari Lake was our governor, she would have flown to New York with the president and back. He should have, but he didn't, because he wanted him to get arrested. He wanted him out of the running because he thought that would make him the front runner. You're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, Brian, it's Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
You know, you're exactly right about whenever you ask a liberal or someone that doesn't like Trump a question, they answer with a question because they have no clue of what they're stating. They're just throwing out words like the liberals do, and they drink their Kool-Aid, and I'm sick of it. That's what's wrong with our country. And it started in the education system. We won't go down that road, but these people are just out of their mind. They got their heads so shoved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy, Brian. How did we get here as a country?
Yeah, and, you know, I'm very disappointed in DeSantis, but it makes a lot of sense now. See, he was lying. He was fake MAGA. You know, after his betrayal of not just President Trump, but those of us in Florida who voted for him, some video came out of him from the first campaign before he was endorsed by Trump talking about climate change, and he says he himself can see the sea levels around Florida rising. I mean, I was in shock to hear that. I played it on the air. I mean, it was shocking. Hey, Jeff, take care, man. I'll give you the last word.
Okay, Ron DeSantis lost me when he turned to the Bushes and Republican establishment for help instead of Trump and we the people, mega.
That's right. All right, take care, take care. Thank you so much. Anyone who runs against President Trump in the primary has betrayed us. Okay? That's it. You're on the air. What's your name?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey, you probably should have finished your story about when you were at Wings Plus, because maybe she hung up because she didn't want you to repeat what.
Well, I was very reluctant to share this, okay, because I've been with the governor on more than one occasion, and on that occasion, I said I knew he was different, and I thought about it for a couple days before I talked about it on the air. And he had this look on his face that I don't know how to describe the look, but you know how when you see someone who's in love with themselves and you can just see it in their face? That's how he was in love with himself. And I could tell.
Well, she was probably on the DeSantis team anyway, you know.
Well, that's fine, but be honest about it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Listen, by the way, calls like that are one of the reasons we go screenless. Okay? Okay, because she would have gotten that off her chest with a call screener and wouldn't have hung over to get on the air with me. She'd have said it to the call screener that had been it. But it's okay. I want people that don't agree with me to listen, call, and participate. We'll convert them. I mean, I can't tell you. When Steve and I do appearances, at every appearance we do, at least one person will come up and say, I used to be a liberal until I listened to you for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 6 months. I hear this all the time from listeners. So we don't want to preach to the choir, right? We want to proselytize to those who have not yet been red-pilled.
Well, as a side note about Trump, you know, if that was me, as a woman, if I was raped or even had sexual encounter like that, I would remember the moment, the date, everything about it, and I would never forget it. 30 years later or whatever she's come out with is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea about that part, which, how can anybody be charged and have to pay that kind of money for something that they cannot prove?
And And she supposedly told friends who have been speaking out, and the friends can't be used to nail down at least the year. Come on.
I always say, look at the jurors and some of those people's bank accounts, see how much money they were paid. But the other thing is, I've tried to accuse people of being involved with the police when I had to accuse people of poisoning cats. At the minimum, a video and 2 witnesses. That's for cats.
Mm-hmm.
Person being accused of rape. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Yep. All right, Joellen. I got to run. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Cold.
Don't have it? Okay.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve.
All right, now it is time for the gold report, but William Youngerman is not with us today. So that's right. So you get the amateur gold report, which is me going to williamyoungerman.com and giving you the numbers off of his website. But these are great numbers. And today, right now, gold is up $13.20 at $2,048.40. It's huge. And I remember the day. Eugene Carroll can't remember stuff, but I can remember. The first time Steve and I met with William Youngerman, we walked out of that office, and I said, Steve, gold is $435 an ounce. It's been around for 5,000 years. How high can it go? And he's like, Brian, you get on this train. I said, Steve, come on. $435 an ounce. And now here we are at $2,048.40 an ounce. Crazy. Silver up 28 cents at $25.97. Platinum up $18 even at $1,133, and palladium is up $30 at $1,683. Listen, give William Youngerman a call. No matter where you are, you can do business with him, buying and selling. And, these guys that you hear about online or advertise these things on television, they add so many charges and premiums to the metals. You're paying so much more when you go through those people than you would pay for William Youngerman. With William Youngerman, you're going to get more metal from for your money than anywhere else. And I'll tell you another thing. These online people, who are you dealing with? Do you even know who's on the phone that you're telling that you're buying gold or silver or platinum and other precious metals? That's crazy because, of course, everything is confidential with William Youngerman. He opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. Give him a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com. Or stop right in. And if you can, you should. His store is like a museum. You know these things we talk about? The gold bars, these beautiful coins, the 100-ounce silver bars, all these things. He has them there on display. It's a museum. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, we'll be right back.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is...
All right, callers on hold, stand by. We're coming in for the final stretch, and I will go to the calls momentarily. But first, I want to tell you about this incredible opportunity on the Rocky Mountaineer train to travel across beautiful Canada through the Great Canadian Rockies, August 15th through the 20th. Now, the Rocky Mountaineer, you've heard me tell you guys, it's a two-level train, bi-level train. The top is a glass dome, so you get this beautiful view. And August 15th through the 20th is the best time of year for this. The weather in Canada is perfect. Here in Florida, it's going to be so hot and so humid, you're not going to leave the air-conditioned car or air-conditioned home or office. You won't do it. But the weather's perfect in Canada this time of year. There's fine wine served, gourmet meals with local ingredients made by gourmet chefs along the way. There's professional award-winning tour guides that are with the tour group. It's amazing. And it ends in Vancouver. All right, and this is the only train that travels across all of Canada from east to west. To learn more, go to briantrain.com and request a brochure. When you go to briantrain.com, on the left side of the screen, you'll see a little button that says Request a Brochure. Click that, and you'll get all the information, including pricing, on this incredible trip. briantrain.com, that's briantrain.com, and request a brochure. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name?
Yeah, hey, it's Juan.
Hey, Juan.
Good morning. Hey, listen, as far as Ron DeSantis is concerned, and again, the last couple calls that I've made, I've always said Trump first. You know, when it comes to DeSantis, you say, oh, he lost against Mickey Mouse. Well,
that's true.
He,
No, he's lost. No, excuse me. What Disney, he announced a year before he did it that they were going to take that status away. Disney hired incredible lawyers, and while they still were in control in the final hours, they passed a law giving Disney control of that area more so than they had before, and they put something in there called the King Charles Clause. Well, maybe somebody else hasn't, and I'm going to tell people now, Juan, and then you can respond. Disney passed the law that they will control that district with more control than they ever have had before until 30 years after the death of the final descendant of King Charles, who was just coronated last weekend. So that's like 200-300 years of control. He lost. It's over. And they're going to tie it up in the courts until we have a new governor.
Well, again, like I said, he's still fighting that. I'm not saying that he's won, but at least he's taken...
Hey, Ahab, Captain Ahab had the ship looking for Moby Dick, too. I mean, he didn't give up. He was still looking for him, and look what happened.
And against this world culture, you don't surrender. But here's the other thing. Your other caller, about 2 callers ago, says, you know what? You got to broker deals that can make you electable. In other words, you got to take part of the establishment with you. Because if not, you're through. And that's exactly what Trump did in 2016.
Yeah. If you owned a corporation, okay, would you hire a CEO of a corporation that did not own a home or a car?
Absolutely not.
Well, Ron DeSantis does not own a house or a car.
Well, that's something that I'm going to have to do my research on.
Yeah, well, do your research and call back. Yeah, Laura Loomer brought that up to me. All right. You're on the air. I mean, see what I mean? You want people who disagree to listen. I just red-pilled Juan there. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee.
Yeah, listen, I was just having a very, very good morning.
Until you turn me on.
Karma's a beautiful thing.
And then you turn me on.
What?
You were having a good morning until you started listening to me?
Well, no, you're not that good. But the thing is he wanted to put those 5 young men to death.
What, you're talking about the Central Park 5 that confessed? When they confess, what are you supposed to do? You and the Central Park 5, they confessed. Okay, what about Tawana Brawley and Al Sharpton? I mean, come on. Excuse me, you're changing the subject. Okay, it's not Open Phones. Open Phones is on Friday. I'm talking about Trump's big win against E. Jean Carroll, and you're changing the subject to talk about the Central Park 5 who pled guilty, who said they did it. They confessed. You're changing the subject.
No, they didn't confess, and they never confess. And
now people have recanted. Okay, but let's talk about E. Jean Carroll, since you're all concerned about justice. If a woman is raped and she can't tell you the year that it happened, how can a defendant mount a defense if the victim will not even say what year it happened?
Well, the jury sure believed her. I believe her.
Well, excuse me, I didn't ask you about the jury. I didn't ask you if you believed her. If someone accuses you of a crime and you didn't do it, one of the things you do is, if you didn't do it, is alibi out. Right? Oh, I was on vacation that month. I was in Florida, at my mansion in Florida that month. She did not give a year even that it happened. So President Trump was unable to alibi out of it because she wouldn't say what year it happened. Don't you find that odd?
Why should you want to remember that?
Well, she took it to court and said it happened and she gave all the details except the year. Oh.
She won.
No, she didn't. In fact, the jury said that the rape didn't happen.
boy is a rapist.
No, the jury said the rape did not happen. Sorry. He's not going to pay her 10 cents. He's not going to pay her 10 cents. In fact, E. Jean Carroll is going to end up giving Trump money just like Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels is going to take his money too.
No, no. Stormy Daniels has been paying Trump. She had to pay his legal fees. You're not very informed, Renee.
Are you smoking crack? Are you on crack?
No, I don't use drugs.
You drink?
On occasion. Yes. Not a lot. No, on occasion.
You look like an alcoholic.
Really? What's an alcoholic look like?
I can tell you drink a lot.
Really?
Yeah, you have that. You have every. Yeah.
How are you able to tell when people drink a lot? Is that something you picked up in one of your AA meetings or something? You know, this is an interesting thing. You know, see this guy. Notice what he's doing. Every time I go to something, he changes the subject. He's calling me an alk. He wants to talk about the Central Park 5. You know, I'm talking about the topics you brought up, and every time I respond, you change the subject. So if someone accuses you of a violent crime and they won't tell you what year it happened, how can you defend yourself from that in a court?
Because she was traumatized.
She gave details. He ravished me, threw me in the dressing room, threw lingerie on me, penetrated me in 2 different ways, she said. She gave all kinds of details, except what year it happened.
And he lost.
No, the jury said the rape did not happen. All right, Renee, take care. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name?
I called you back because I was...
No, 1 call per day. You're on the air. What's your name?
This is JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, that guy, was that the white supremacist from New York that was just on the phone?
Well, yeah, I guess so, by the end of Navarro standards.
Sounded like it. I was just going to say a couple things, like one of the callers today talked about when they have an attendant in the wealthy stores, the rich stores, they have an attendant to actually serve the person. In stores like Kmart and Walmart, they have attendants here to make sure you're not stealing something. But when it comes to DeSantis, I mean, I think you have to judge people. I mean, I've been listening all week and over the past couple of weeks talk about DeSantis and his low energy that people were saying about him. But you kind of have to look at people about, who surrounds him. Like with Obama, it was the crazy Reverend Wright. And when it comes to DeSantis, for me, I mean, when you surround yourself with the Bush types, the Romneys and McCain types, and say like Karl Rove.
You left out Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan. I mean, basically, that's the Fellowship of the Swamp. That's the Uniparty. I mean, they're the consigliaries of the criminal cynic.
See, Jeb thinks that Trump took his presidency from him in his fantasies. And Steve and I used to be friends with Jeb, and Jeb is not the same Jeb that he used to be. And we go way back with Jeb. We knew him before he was governor, when his dad was president and everything else. And he's lost his mind since when at that one debate, when Trump said at the last debate, first debate you were next to me, at this debate you're way down the line, at the next debate you're going to be off the stage. That was it. Jeb lost his mind. He was so humiliated. That was it for Jeb.
And when it comes to DeSantis, you don't need a grain of salt. You need a truckload. I mean, I call him now. I'm looking at him like the low energy. The lights are flickering on the light bulb. He can't see he just can't see what's going on.
Yep.
DeSantis. I mean,
okay.
And the off. It's low.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the only. I'm very grateful for Ron DeSantis for some of like yesterday. He did something really good. He passed a law that the teachers union can't take dues out of teachers' paychecks anymore. That's amazing. He's done a lot of good things, but it's all fake. He's fake MAGA. What he's doing now is a conservative equivalent to virtue signaling. He's signing all these. He's doing all these big conservative things, because I'm conservative. I'm MAGA. You exposed yourself, Gov. You exposed yourself, and we're on to you. But you know what? He's been signing all these bills. It'll be 2 weeks Friday. Ron DeSantis has not yet signed the bill allowing him to run for president and stay governor. That one he has not signed. They passed it 2 weeks ago this coming Friday. So what's that about?
done good things with that.
Well, listen, I'm out of time, but thanks for the call, JJ. All right, take care. Those of you on hold, well, you can stand by until tomorrow morning, and you'll be at the front of the line on tomorrow's show. And when I go to the calls, if you want to hold on until tomorrow, you can do that. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio, the Steve Kane Show. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. And, of course, God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And don't miss the Trump Town Hall on CNN tonight at 8. See you tomorrow.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys, I got to run, but I'll see you soon. Take care.